Xin kính chào quý anh chị huynh trưởng cũng như các em trong phòng viên. Để ổn định đạo tràng thì anh cũng như một số huynh trưởng ở tại gia đình Tân Trí sẽ đảm trách điều hành việc buổi học ngày hôm nay. Thì các bà sư cô thì con cũng xin mạng phép trước khi đi vào lớp học xin kính đảnh lễ sư cô như chào toàn thể anh chị em, và chúng con cũng mạng phép đọc tiếng Anh để cho giới thiệu sư cô đến các em. Các em sẽ hiểu nhiều về sư cô. Dạ. Nam mô Saki Muni Buddha. Kính bạch sư cô. The brothers, sisters, and all the students who are present in the first Dhamma English class today. At first, we respectfully go to the nun and would like to introduce Siko to the class. The Dhamma name of the Siko is Thích Chân Đàn. She was born in 1981 in a Buddhist family. Her parents are both teachers. In 1988, the mother took the nun and her sisters across to the sea to Bulapidong, Malaysia refugee camp, and then went to French. After that, she has been living now in Germany. In 2004, Siko finished the university and graduated with the master degree in the computer science. Tức là ngành điện toán sư cô đã xong. After that, she returned to Vietnam, working for 2 years. In 2008, Siko was ordained as the nun with the Venerable Master Thích Chân. Sư cô đã xuất gia với sư phụ là Hòa thượng Thích Chân. Since then, after 10 years of studying Buddhist with the Venerable Master, Siko take the part in activities in European Buddhist Sangha. Especially, the nun gives priority to educate for the Buddhist young family. Tức là sư cô sau khi 10 năm tu học đã ra hành đạo và tham dự Giáo hội Phật giáo Việt Nam Thống nhất Âu Châu, và đã dạy quan tâm rất nhiều đến thế hệ trẻ. She takes in activities in Buddhist young camp in Germany, Switzerland, and on Buddhist young family in Europe. Certainly, we have a few words to introduce Siko. And when one voice, I would like to tell all of you about her mother is Thích Nghiệp. Sư cô Thích Nghiệp là thân mẫu của sư cô Chân Đàn, xuất gia vào năm 2000. Dạ. Chắc mấy em biết sư cô Chân Đàn thì biết thân mẫu của sư cô. And now the Buddha room has been purified. We would like to invite Siko to recite the Buddha name for blessing. And then would you please give us the Dhamma lection so that we can open our mind for listening. Afterwards, we will study, understand, and practice according to the Buddha teaching. Nam mô Sakyamuni Buddha.
So before we start, we do a short motivation. so that our mind will be calm and we can fill our mind with the Buddha Dharma. So now we put our hands together, sit straight upward, and we visualize. First, to calm the mind, we breathe in and out deeply 3 times. Now we visualize that we are in front of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 times, past, present, and future. They are all glowing in their mercy and in their compassion, loving kindness and compassion. They are always speaking the Dharma to us, but due to our delusions, we cannot see and cannot receive this karma. Now, through this session, we get the chance to get the Dharma, and therefore we motivate our mind that we will take this Dharma within ourselves. For the sake of all beings and for our sake. Now we recite 3 times the Buddha name, Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Phật, means my teacher Shakyamuni Buddha, to get the support of the Buddha. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. A Di Đà Phật, con kính chào thầy. You see, thầy Hạnh Tấn join us a little bit, and yeah, we start with our session. I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation for the class, and I hope it is a good method so that you can get the content better to see and to learn. So, can you see the presentation? Okay, great. So we start today, our topic, our big main topic is dealing with difficulties through, and then we have subtopics, and today our subtopic is plant and nourish wholesome seeds. In Vietnamese, đối mặt với lại khó khăn qua hôm nay là sự gieo trồng hạt giống thiện, or what we have seen before. And we start with a video. So it's cinema time. And I hope you can hear the voice. If not, please let me know if you can hear and see it. The Seed of Compassion, Lessons from the Life and Teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, illustrations by Bao Lu. So first, this is the first children book from the Dalai Lama, and I think it's something very special, and I would like to share with you. And it is about 12 minutes. It's not long. So we start with this video. I hope you are fine with it. So can you hear? Could you hear the voice? Yeah? Okay. The Seed of Compassion, Lessons from the Life and Teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, by His Holiness the Dalai Lama, illustrations by Bao Lu. I was born in Taktser, in the Amdo province of northeastern Tibet. It was a place of tall mountains, clear streams, blue skies, and many animals: mastiffs, sheep, horses, yaks, scorpions, chickens, and cows. Our home was in the shadow of the Ami Churi, the mountain that pierces the sky. Mine was a family of farmers. My father would spend the day tending to and selling horses, and I would stay home with my mother and help with her daily work. We would plant barley, buckwheat, and potatoes, but those were not the only seeds we planted. From the time I was very young, my mother planted in me the seed of compassion by the example she set. She raised me on a diet of love. It was often my job to collect the eggs from our hens. I took my duty very seriously. While my mother cooked, the aroma of kori, a delicious bread, wafting from our kitchen, I would play in the courtyard with scorpions for company. Sometimes I would sit on the roof of our house. It was the perfect place to watch the mountains reach toward the sky. I'd imagine what the older boys were doing as they accompanied their fathers herding. I couldn't wait to be big enough to do that. My other favorite perch was atop my mother's shoulders. From there, I felt like one of the older boys. I was taller than my father, and getting around was so easy. When I wanted to go left, I would simply tug on my mother's left ear. When I wanted to go right, a pull. And if she didn't understand my instructions or chose to ignore them, I would kick my legs. Although my mother could not teach me to read or write, I learned so much from her. I was often a naughty boy, but she always treated me with kindness. Sometimes I think she may have been a little too patient with me. I was a bit spoiled. But that was her nature. She was this way with everyone around her. One year, when there was a famine in our region and many families did not have enough to eat, my mother gave whatever food we had stored to our neighbors and those in need. In this way, she tended the seed of that most important lesson by demonstrating how to practice compassion. She showed me as a child that it was possible to treat all people with warm-heartedness and to help ease their suffering. Like a tall tree never forgets the seed it sprouted from, I've often returned to the seed of compassion my mother planted and which I carried with me as a small child at home, as a young monk in training, and today as I spread the message of compassion around the world. I loved growing up under the big open sky in Taktser.
but I always knew that my life would take me beyond my small village. When I was almost 3, some monks came from the capital, Lhasa, looking for the child who was the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, the spiritual leader of the Tibetan Buddhists. They had been searching all over the country for him, and the millions of people of Tibet had been waiting to hear that he had been found. No one in my family could have expected that I was that child, least of all me. But after passing a series of tests where I correctly identified the belongings of the previous Dalai Lama and held them with a great sense of familiarity, our visitors were satisfied that they had found the boy they were looking for. And so, at age 4, I made the journey to Lhasa in a caravan that snaked through the mountains. It took 3 months, and as news spread that the new Dalai Lama had been found, more and more people joined the procession. I rode in a beautiful palanquin with my brother. We were rambunctious boys, and every time we roughhoused inside the cozy cabin, we would knock it off balance. We had to be separated for the rest of the journey. In Lhasa, after I turned 6, my formal education began, and my days were filled with studies. In the few hours I had for personal time, I loved to puzzle over how things worked. I could spend hours taking apart toys, clocks, and watches, and putting them back together again, or exploring the mechanics of movie projectors and cars. This occasionally got me in trouble. As I trained to be a monk, I studied many subjects like Buddhist philosophy and history, logic and reasoning, metaphysics, poetry, medicine, Tibetan, and Sanskrit. One topic that I loved was compassion because of the seed that had been planted by my mother. I believe that is what led me to free the people held in the prison next to Potala Palace, where I lived. I have spent my entire life studying this topic, and I know it is my duty to help make the world a more compassionate place. The remarkable thing is, this ability is within every one of us, and it is strongest, I believe, within children, like you. Many Buddhist teachings compare those on the journey of life to sprouts, or the young shoots of a plant that must be tended until they grow strong and thrive. Parents often describe their children as sprouts too, especially when they see how quickly they grow. But children are like sprouts, not just physically, but in how they contain potential that can be nourished. The seed of compassion is within every child. It is there from birth and is a part of our nature, and it flourishes because of love. If you think about it, when it comes to the 5 basic senses, we humans are not all that impressive. The elephant has a long nose and can pick up faint scents from much greater distances than we can. The hare can turn his tall ears forward and backward to pick up sounds that we would miss. The eagle has eyes that can spot the tiniest prey from far up in the sky. It's not the use of our senses that makes us special. But only humans have the ability, with discipline and effort, to train the mind. It is what makes us different from all other animals. It is our superpower, and it is where the seed of compassion thrives. Think about this. When you are playing in the schoolyard and a group welcomes you with a smile, do you want to play with them? Or do you want to play with someone who greets you with a scowl? Of course you want to play with someone who welcomes you with a genuine smile, as you already have the ability to see genuine compassion in others. From self-confidence grows compassion, and from compassion, strength blooms. But so often our world puts importance on material things and pushes us to be competitive with the people around us. The material world is based only in the 5 basic senses. Compassion is based in the mind, the part of us that is uniquely human. It is where you might grow strongest and how you can create something positive in the world. Because compassion is not a sign of weakness, it is a sign of strength. When you approach someone with true warm-heartedness, they can feel it. Doing so only brings more joy to you and them. There are many simple ways to bring more happiness to the world. But you already know that. What you must do now is protect and nurture this seed. When someone disagrees with you, rather than think they are mistaken, you must ask, why might they feel this way? When someone is scowling or upset or hurt, you could busy yourself with your own concerns, or you could ask, what might I do to help them? These questions may not come immediately, but just as you gradually learn to read or swim or play an instrument, you can build compassion day by day. It takes practice, and even when you slip and don't make the compassionate choice, tomorrow presents the opportunity for you to try again. I have many responsibilities in my life, but helping to make the world a more compassionate place is the most important one. We cannot change the past, we can only learn from it. Otherwise, it is beyond our control. With the future, we can change. And as children, you already have the tools needed to build a happier world, better world, a compassionate world.
So that's a short clip, a short introduction to the Dalai Lama. Most of you, or I think everybody, knows about him. And yeah, that's a little bit about his life and his tasks, duty. So we come now to our discussion session or round. And the first question to you is, what seed does the Dalai Lama plant? He mentioned a lot. So I ask you to turn on your mics and just discuss with each other and with me about what we learn, because learning through discussion is more impressive than just hearing.
Well, it was the seed of compassion.
Okay, it was the seed of compassion. This is the most important seed, right? He mentioned. But in other way, he also mentioned other seeds. Okay, we make use of the digital methods here. We have here the, how to say, to write comments, yeah? to write text into our screen. So if you turn or put your mouse over the screen bar, you can see there is like a pencil. You click on that and then you can write. With the text tool, you can write, type in if you don't want to discuss, or if you are, we can keep it so that I can put it into the presentation, and in the end of the whole session, you will get all the presentations. Do you know how it goes? Like this. Nothing else in mind? Đồng đố. Oh, okay. Cái trâu, cái ăn.
I can't remember any other seeds that you planted.
Okay, he doesn't mention it clearly as the seed because compassion is for him like the most important seed, but through the telling through the story, you can see and you can hear that he talked about his mother, how kindness, with the kindness she treats the others, yeah, and there was the hunger and she gives all the food, so that means that she was very generous, yeah. That is all the seed which is mentioned here, or not, maybe not the seed, but like the wholesome qualities, and like warm-heartedness. That's also he mentioned, and self-discipline and effort. So we see that just through a children book, we can learn a lot. And it is from the Dalai Lama, so he always puts into what he is giving, he puts Dharma in it. So then we skip this and comes to our next okay. The next question is then, what good qualities do you know? Wisdom. One of the biggest to get enlightenment. Kindness. Không tham, không sân, không si. Yes. In Buddhism, Buddha taught us if we can manage to be free of greed, anger, and delusion, we will be freed from samsara. Yeah, and this is something which holds us into this suffering. Okay. So there are much more good qualities, because good qualities are every action you do for the sake of others. That means if you keep your precepts, yeah, we as lay Buddhists, laymen or laywomen, we have 5 precepts. Oh, please don't go forward with my presentation, whoever it is. So, and that's why to keep the precepts is also one of the good qualities which we need to do in order to make us a better woman or to get out of samsara. Yeah. There are much more in Buddhism, like generosity, what we have heard before, yeah, or if we have, most of you or some of you have also thọ Bồ Tát giới, yeah, and Bồ Tát giới means from now on to the point that we become Buddha, we are willing to help every creature, not only human, but all creatures. Yeah, and this is one of the biggest quality we can ever do, because this is not only in this life, but it will accompany us to our Buddhahood. And that's why Bồ Đề Tâm, or we say thọ Bồ Tát giới, is a precept that will not leave us after we die, but it will accompany us to our Buddhahood. Respectfulness, yes. If we can treat others with respect, we also get respect back from others. Yeah. So we see there's always a forth and back. What we do, we will get it in this way back. What does it call, or what is it called in Buddhism?
Bố thí.
What we do, how we act, we will get it back sooner or later. What is it called?
Karma.
Karma, exactly. Yeah. So then I would like to go to the next foil. So please take a picture, a screenshot.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then we go forward. So I would like to write down what good qualities do you see in yourself. Just make a short reflection for yourself, and if possible, write it down. We will sum up later. You don't have to write it here because it is something which belongs to you and which you think it inside yourself. So it's not necessary to write it down here, but for yourself on a piece of paper or in your mind. If you can still remember by the end of the session. And the question is also, what good quality do you want to develop more? This you can write in here because these are the thing we want to develop, we want to expand. Yeah. Respect and forgiveness. To become a better person. Okay. Patience. About patience, I thought that you have heard about it, how to deal with it yesterday, because we have yesterday the subtopic emotions, difficult emotions, right? Yeah. And if we can deal with these bad emotions, we can get patience. Mindfulness. Okay. This is something also very important in this stressy world. Consistency. Okay. Consistency you can reach if you are always willing to be diligent. Yeah. Here is to be diligent in good deeds, means in good actions. If you are diligent with bad actions, like a thief is always diligent in the night to rob something, then it's not really the consistency that we want to get, right? Because this is not bringing us out of samsara. It is bringing or keeping us in samsara. So if there is nothing more, we go further. Please keep in mind all that what you have written down, because we will see through that what we learned today. If we have answered all this what you have written down, or if we have dealt with it. Okay. Dong Do, can you make a screenshot, please?
Already done.
Okay, thank you. So for all this, we should become a treasure hunter because we have to look for the treasures in our heart. Everybody has another treasure which he or she keeps within the heart. Yeah. Sometimes for me, it's important to be patient because I'm somebody who is very quickly angry. Or for others is I want to, or it is the treasure for me to be generous because I'm somebody who is very greedy. So we see everybody has another treasure within their heart. That's why we have to look for what is the treasure we want to get. And then we can move forward and trying to get it. If we don't know what we want, we will never get the goal, or we can never reach to this aim. So how to do it? We do it by using karma. Why using karma? We will learn. Karma is the universal law. I've written English and Vietnamese because I think it is also important for us to know the keywords in Vietnamese, like karma is nghiệp. And I think all of you may know that this is just another support for you. Yeah, like the universal law is luật của vạn vật. So we try to define what is karma. So karma is the core law in this world because everything which exists, every phenomena is based on cause and effect. If we do have a consequence, if we start to roll a ball, it will come somewhere, it will hit somewhere. Yeah. So if we put energy in something, there is always the consequence. And this is not in Buddhism only, but this is the world. Buddha observes this world, and then he gets the enlightenment about this world. It is not that he creates something. It is not that he creates the Dharma. The Dharma is the truth about this world. The truth about why we are living, why we are acting, why we are thinking like this. Yeah? And then he sees the truth and he says to us, if you don't want to suffer, then you have to do that and that. You have to keep the precepts because the precepts keeps you away from suffering. Because if you kill, you will get killed one day, or you will be hurt, or you will be born with illnesses. All that you cannot see. But the wise man, the all knowing one is the Buddha. He sees us and tells us it. And if we act, if we learn and practice, if we learn, think and practice about this Dharma, what he said to us, we also can become a Buddha to be free from suffering. So we come back to karma. It means if we do a good action, we will get a good result. If we do a bad action, we will get a bad result. Everybody knows that, right? If I don't learn, I will get a bad grade or note or whatever, decree. And if I learn, I will get a good exam and I pass my exam. So you are choosing what you want to be. And you have also to take responsibility for that, what you are choosing. Nobody else can do that for you. So the example for cause and effect is the sowing of a farmer. If he sows something like orange, he will get the tree or the orange tree, and he will get the orange fruit. If he sow a poisoned seed, it will come to a poison tree. Yeah, so this is cause and effect. Karma is something in addition. Karma is to do an action with purpose, with intention. This is called karma. Because if you just do like lying down and sleep, you will get the result, the effect that you are then healthy, yeah, and you don't feel tired. But this is not really karma because it is no intention of good or bad in it. So the purpose here can be good or bad. This is karma. Here you can see on the picture very well which karma, because what you do, you will get it back, right? And please don't misunderstand destiny and karma. Karma is not destiny because karma can be changed. Destiny is something which is hard and firm and you cannot change it. Yeah. If you see like, oh, this is my destiny, that means I cannot do something else for that. Karma is not like this. If you want to change your future, if you want the rolling ball to end in another direction, you still can move it away. Like you put another ball, yeah, you push another ball and it will touch your rolling ball and your rolling ball can get another direction. So it's not programmed that it will end somewhere which is fixed, because this means destiny. And karma is you have done something bad, but if you do, if you purify your mind and if you do like prostration, you will then get a less hard result. It won't come to that bad result. This is karma. So karma means free actions. You have the choice, but you have to take the responsibility. Yeah. And the world arises from our mind. How your mind is, you will see the world that way, because the world is nothing else than the projection of your mind. For example, if today you are in a bad mood and you go out of the house, you will see everything you see on the street or whatever is kind of in a bad mood too. Like you can be angry about everything, but the world is still the world from yesterday. And maybe yesterday you're in a good mood because you have seen a good action of somebody, yeah, and you are happy with that. So the same world which you see yesterday, today it changed because of your mind. So you see, if you want to become a better person, you have to change your mind. if you want to be mindfulness, you have to be more conscious. You should be aware of everything you do. So, and how to make our world better? We make our world better through our words, thoughts, and actions. These are the contact points between us and other beings or with the outer world. And you see, if we are deluded, we always see that we are separate from the world. We are something special. Everything else is not so important. And we always see that others bring us suffering. We don't ever do any suffering to others, never harm others. But why do we always suffer? Because we see this I so important. Because we always push all the faults to others. And sometimes we are attached too hard to other objects. We're greedy, we're jealous, we're full of ignorance. Yeah, and that's all that makes us deluded. And the worst case is if we don't believe or we don't understand the core law, the law of karma. This is the most dangerous thing, because if we don't believe in karma, we will do whatever we want and we don't think about what will come back to us. So we see in life, we are exposed to stimuli, yeah, and we always react. We react to every actions which hits us, and sometimes without thinking. And this is why suffering exists, or where suffering will be created. And the actions are new karma, and which will affect other results. So karma is not the result what we get, but karma is the action we do. Okay? The action with intention. This is karma. And sometimes it creates us a world of happiness, and in this world we are willing to do good karma. But sometimes we are in the world which is bad, and this also influences us to do bad karma if we are not aware of it. And everything we know from Buddhism, everything exists through conditions, and nothing is independent. It means nothing can exist alone on their own. Okay, good. See you maybe this evening. So therefore, everything can be changed because it has no real existence, and it does not exist on its own. That's why it can be changed. Yeah. Do you understand that? No reaction? Okay, as if you don't understand what I'm saying, or you see that what I'm telling you is so abstract, then you have to turn on the mic and ask, because I don't know through, or I cannot see it really directly because you're not sitting in front of me. So I'm telling, and by the end of the session, you haven't understand anything, and this is not our goal. Okay, our goal is really that we do understand, and we can use this to deal with our difficulties. So there are 4 conditions. The 4 conditions that make a action a real karma means that it will come to a result, that it will come to the consequences. Therefore, so what are these 4? Is the wish. We have the wish to do an active action. It can be bad or good, wholesome or unwholesome. This is the first one. The second one is to be aware of the consequences. Means I am aware of, if I hit you, I will get hit back, or I will get insult of others because I hit you. Yeah, so I'm aware of the consequences. Third, act by oneself or telling others to act. It comes to action. The first 2 are in our mind. So the third one is I do it myself through action with my body, or I tell something to do it through the speech. And fourth, the satisfaction of the result. Hey, 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 I hit you. Yeah. So these are the 4 conditions to make a solid karma. If we do it in a bad way, we will for sure get a bad consequence back. Now, if we want to become a better person, we turn all these 4 conditions with a good action, like to help other people, or to donate, or to learn the Dharma. Yeah. So these are good actions which will bring us to good results. And this is where we plant a good and wholesome seed. There are 3 types of karma. We have wholesome one, positive one. We have evil or negative one. And the third one is neutral. And returning actions will become bad or good due to this karma. Do you have a question?
Yeah, I had a question about the slide before. So the second condition about that you have to know the consequences. What are the limits on this one? So for example, I would think that like animals or low intelligence creatures also have nghiệp and karma. But on this one, I'm not sure if they are aware of the consequences. Like insects, for example, I would think they have a karma because they were born into insects, but I'm not sure if they are aware of the consequences.
That's correct. That's why we try to remember in the video what we just saw. The Dalai Lama also said that as a human being, we have the most valuable thing, which is called the mind. Because with the human being mind, you can really choose or you can see clearly what is wholesome and what is not wholesome, what are the consequences and what not. Yeah, because other creatures like animals or like beings in the hell, they don't have this ability. Like in the hell, they have to suffer so much that they cannot think about something else. They just feel their suffering. The same is with the hunger ghosts. They are too busy to get food, to search for food, so that they don't have the time and don't have the mind for other things. Insects as well. The mind are limited, and they can, sometimes there are in the sutra, they're written that like animals with a, like holy animals, they have also something like awareness, yeah, what they are doing. Like the former life of the Buddha, where he is ein Reh. Ein Reh is a deer, yeah, where is a deer, and the forest was burning, and he lay down across the river so that every other animals can cross the river from this burning forest. So, but this is because it's a former life of a Buddha. Not normal animals can do that. So we know that the lower three realms, they don't have this ability to have consciousness. And so we as human beings, we see bad and good, poverty and rich, yeah. So that's why we can make distinction. And through distinction, we can choose what we want to become. So for animals, they are in the level that they have to ihre Sünden verbüßen als Tiere. Yeah, so that means that they have done bad actions so that they are reborn as an animal, and now they have to go through all the lives as an animal. And then after that, they become human again, and then they can really grow or plant new seeds for them. Okay. Have I answered your question?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, we can go on.
Okay, we can go on, and then keep it in mind what you are still questioning.
Sure.
Okay. So we said that there are three sorts of karma, right? And this will create our new future. Karma creates us the next future. That means we will create the world in which we will be born in, and we will create the being, how we will be in next life or in the future life with our actions today. So if you want to become a better person, try it now slowly. It will turn and it will change your life, this life. But it cannot be turned 100% because this is now the result of your former karma. But be aware and be sure that next life, it will be a complete other life, a better life where you are really a better person. Because this life, you exercise, you practice for that. Yeah, and that means your y báo and jin báo for next life you created now. So in short, what are hier steht äußere Welt und innere Welt. No, that means this is the outer world, y báo, and jin báo is the inner world. The inner world is our mind and body. The outer world is the 6 realms. That means how we practice this life or how we act this life, we can be reborn in one of the 6 realms of samsara. We can be reborn as heavenly beings if we do good actions, if we donate all our possession. So we will be reborn as a heavenly being, a deity. If we want to be reborn as asuras, means we do also good deeds, but we still have a character which is full of anger and aversions. That then we will be reborn as asuras, titans. If we are doing good deeds and we can keep the 5 precepts, we will be reborn as human beings. So animals, like we are doing not good actions, bad actions, which are polluting our mind, then we will be reborn as animals. Hungry goats, if we are greedy, yeah, don't want to share with others, then we will be reborn as hungry goats. And hell beings, like if you kill other people, if you are robber or steal from people which doesn't have anything, they just have a one rope, yeah, and you still take it from them, so the result will be a being in hell. This is the outer world. Now we come to the inner world, which will be our appearance or our character. So the body can be weak or strong. Means if you now always try to help with all your effort, then you know that you will be reborn as a very strong person, because now you always try with all your effort to help others. You can be nice or ugly. This is the same. If you have a good mind, then you will see, you will look better. Yeah, you will always be brighter than other person. And this is also how you can create yourself for next life. You can be healthy or ill, elegant or shabby. Yeah, this depends on how you treat people. If you are willing to give, to share with others, but you throw it into their faces, then it has no respect. And so next life, maybe you are a very rich person, but you're shabby, you're ugly, because you do it, your action, what you are doing is full of ugliness. So it will be, your body will be very shabby and ugly. And your mind. You can be an altruist or an egoist. This is also your choice. Yeah. And you can be wholesome or evil. It depends also on the actions you do now. If it is a good action, but the mind which you are doing is not good, because you just want to have for others to know that you have done something, yeah, then this means you don't do it with your full heartness, but you just do it for show, to show some others. So that means also the result you get back is something evil. You can be generous or selfish, and go on. You can let it go or clinch on things. Equivalences. Here you can see that if you do something like to share food this life, yeah, you share it So next life you become a or you will get food from everywhere. Everything you eat will taste good because you have shared food this life. If you offer flowers to Buddha, the result will be that you have a beautiful appearance because flowers are something which is beautiful. If you listen to the Dharma, then you will be wise and intelligent. This is like if you are now willing to study, then you will also pass your exam and will get the knowledge. Yeah, this is also the same as in the normal world, in the common world. If you kill animals, then next life you will be sick and you will have an early death. If you used to insult your parents, or if you do it this life, next life you will be deaf, dumb, and blind. Yeah, because parents are an object of gratitude, and now you insult them, you say harsh words to them. That means you don't respect them. Somebody who give you a lot, give you this life, give you the childhood and raise you, and now you insult them, then in returning you will get deaf, dumb, and blindness. If you used to beat others, then this life or next life or in one life you will be disabled. And there are so many others. You can read it in the Sutra of Cause and Effect or in other sutras. Yeah? Every sutra, Buddha always tell us about the cause and effect of this world. In summary, the law of cause and effects reveals the truth that is never misleading. Because the law of cause and effect is something which rules this universe. So this is never misleading. Those who trust the Lord are not depressed and do not complain, because we know that what happens to us now is something we have created in the past. And that's why we accept it easier, and we are not depressed if it comes and hit us. And we will be willing to do it better. Those who know the law of cause and effect take responsibility for their actions. Yeah? That means if we trust, if we know, there is the word in Vietnamese, thâm tín nhân quả. Thâm is deep. Tín is belief or trust. Nhân quả. Trust in nhân quả will lead us to actions that we are aware of this action, and we will never do unwholesome actions. The Lord can only do good deeds, such as planting compassion, as the Dalai Lama just told us. Because we know compassion is something which is wholesome, which is a good quality, and that's why we do and plant it. Applying the law in life prevents pessimism and unhappiness, because we know if we do good actions, not only for us, but also for others, then they are happy. And if others are happy, we are happy. Or if you say that Buddhism is kind of pessimism, yeah, because we always think of suffering, we always try to get out of suffering and. But this is not the way it goes. The way why Buddha shows us this truth, one of the four noble truths is suffering, is that we can get out of it. Because if we clinch on objects here in samsara, which is not really existent like we think they are, that's why we are suffering. If we see the truth of everything here in samsara and we don't clinch on it, we will see that we will be happy. Because if you are the master of dreams, you can control your dreams. You have no trouble and you have no fear in your dreams because you are the master of it. And this is the same. Buddha knows about the truth of this life. It is compared as a dream. So he has full control of himself when he is in this dream and can do good deeds, can help everybody, and has no fear that it is like overpowered for him because he knows it is just a dream. Yeah. So how we become a better person, how we can get respect, how we can get mindfulness is here in that 10 wholesome actions which we can practice day by day. This whole 10 wholesome actions is in Vietnamese thập thiện. Thập is 10, 10, thiện là 10 điều thiện. 10 điều thiện is nothing else than the 5 precepts divided into 3 parts. The part of the body, part of speech, and part of mind. The body has 3 wholesome actions, which is not killing, not to take what is not given. Yeah, it is not only not to steal, but if it is not given to me, I won't take it. It is no sexual misconduct. In speech, we have 4. This is not lying, not sowing dissensions, means I go to A telling that B said something bad to you and going to B and say A has said something bad about you. Yeah, that means sowing dissensions. No harsh speech. Yeah, because harsh speech is something which creates suffering. It creates to others, and so if others are unhappy, we are also unhappy. No useless chatter, because sometimes we start with this useless chatter, we chit-chat, and then it comes out or it ends with a quarrel. That shouldn't be. And the mind has 3, which is no greed, no aversion, and no wrong views. No wrong views means that you should see everything with the eye of the Dharma. And you just can't do that when you learn about Dharma. And Dharma is nothing else than a recipe that leads you out of samsara, out of suffering. So within that 10 wholesome actions, which you can practice day by day, you will get all these good qualities you want to develop more, what you have written down before. And of course, you have written a lot other good qualities. if you implement these good qualities into these wholesome actions, because the action is between you and your and others which are living with you. Yeah, so you will see that it will lead you to a better world, and it will get you to harmony. So now a short conclusion. So how can we deal with difficulties through planting and nourishing wholesome seeds? So now we try to connect the subtopic with the main topic. It is karma shows us that if we plant good deeds today, we won't get any difficulties in future. Yeah? So we can answer the question, due to Dharma, we will deal with difficulties in future, that we don't have them. That what we get today are the consequences of former actions. To deal with them, we first have to think about karma and accept the situation. This is at least the smallest thing we should do at the first sight. Because if we cannot accept the situation how it is now, we will never overcome these bad emotions in us, and we will never develop ourselves. Then we will be stuck in our bad emotions, which you have learned yesterday. So if we accept the situation and know about karma, it will be easier for us to face the difficulties. We make the best out of it and try to see the good side and avoid the bad and unwholesome reactions. Yeah? So then we start in our roots, like our reflexes and our reactions. We try by being aware of karma and trying to practice the 10 wholesome actions. And on the contrary, we do intentionally and consciously good actions, like we cultivate compassion towards others. So we plant our Bodhi tree. So we are by the end of the presentation, and there is still 2 minutes left for your questions if you have, or if you have questions besides our topics, you also can put them.
Em có hỏi gì không?
Okay, I had a question before.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about the second condition, because it sounds like that if karma has a condition that being aware of the consequences is a must-have to create karma, it sounds like that ignorance would be helpful. So for example, when I'm ignorant and not mindful about things, I'm not aware of the conditions of my doing, and then I would create less karma. That's just why I was confused about the second condition. Maybe you can add on that.
Yes, you're right. Because there's also a speech which says, không biết không có tội, right? So if we say không biết không có tội here in this second condition, it is true. Yeah, you drive the car and you don't know that you have to stop by red light. Then the police come and So there's still a fine, or maybe he said like, okay, because you don't know, yeah. So there will be a less Strafe. So this is the same. It is the same in Buddhism or in this world. If you clearly know about something, that you do it will be, you get a punishment, and you still do that, then the consequence which you get will be harder. Like if you are a police, a traffic police, and you drive over a red light, then the punishment will be harder than for somebody who doesn't know about that, and he drives with his bike through red light, for example. Yeah, the same is if you are Buddhist and you also have said, I will take refuge to the 3 jewels and will keep the 5 precepts. And then you go and pray with awareness, with consciousness, yeah, this one of the 5 precepts, then the result, the consequence you have to take is much bigger than somebody who is not Buddhist. This is the same. But don't think, oh, in that case, why should I then take the precepts? Okay. To take the precept and to be clear about what the consequences is to keep the precepts gives you or leads you to something, or if we say it clearly, leads you out of samsara. If you really keep all these precepts. Somebody who doesn't know about the precepts and never take refuge to the 3 jewels, he never will get the chance to get out of samsara. This is the difference. And this is the same, like if a nun or a monk break the rules, then he has to take, or he will be punished by karma harder than if you break the precept. Because the 5 precepts for the Buddhist layman is compared to the precepts of the Sangha, it's not so, it's not that hard, because you are not in the full, or you are not 100% clear about the result or about the consequences. And the monk and the nun should know more about the results because they should have learned about that. You know? This is also the same in school, at school. Yeah, because you know that you don't have, or you are not allowed to do that. And now you do that, and you have learned about that before, then the punishment will be harder or bigger than if you don't know about this, because you have never learned about it before. A child in kindergarten make maybe the same mistake as you, but the punishment to the child is not that hard than to you, because you have learned about it and you still break the rules. You see? And in the 3 realms, the 3 lower realms, you don't have really the thinking or the mind where you really can think and choose. And that's also why if they do like a lion, yeah, he kills. Like he kills everything which is in front of him. But he only kills because it's an instinct, because it's food for him. And that's why it is in karmic actions, if we divide it, it is not the same result what he will get back as a human being if he kills, because a human being knows about the value of life and an animal not. We as a human being, we know that we have to appreciate the gratitude to our parents. And if somebody kills his father, it will be a very big Sünde in English?
Sin.
Sin, thank you. It will be a big sin, because we know that is it a gratitude object. If an animal does it, there are not really consequences for them, because for them, if they grow up, these are like other animals for them. You see, everything has to do with the state of mind. And that's why it makes us human so valuable.
A Di Đà Phật. Dạ, kính bạch sư cô, thì cái giờ học cũng đã sắp hoàn mãn, cho nên con nghĩ giờ đây chúng con cũng xin cùng các em chúng ta ráng động cái tâm tư của mình, ráng động cái suy nghĩ của mình để cùng nói lên những lời đến với sư cô cùng những gì mình đã học hôm nay. Thì theo con nghĩ thì sư cô mong sư cô là có thể gửi cái PowerPoint cho các em để các em sẽ học nhiều hơn. So would you please to send us the PowerPoint what we have learned today? Yeah. Bây giờ anh xin đại diện các em để nói vài lời ha. Now we during the lesson today, what we have learned, what we have listened, the sư cô have teach for us today. I think many a lot of lections that we can learn, that we can, that is very useful for our life, for practice in the life. And now I can say something about what I write, some words that we can repeat again. First people show us the story with the film, how the boy about Dalai Lama was born and grow up in the countryside with the nature, in the nature, with the love and understanding. And I think the many words of the in the story we can learn that there are many simple ways that we can learn. We can build compassion day by day. We cannot change the past, but we learn in the past for experience. We can use it for the future. And then Sipo gave us the 4 questions that we can write out what we think, what we understand, what we know. First, what does the Dalai Lama learn? The second is what good qualities do you know? And the third one, what good quality do you already see in yourself? And the last question is, what good quality do you want develop more? I think this is more the 4 questions very important for us. We can think about what we heard today. We can think. We can looking for what we don't understand. We can ask and we can study more about it. And then I find it very good that you many students write out good things, contact with the teacher, that we have good thing in our mind, in my heart, something on the table. And then Sư-cô has treat us what I find out tìm kho báu trong tim của chúng ta. We come back to the heart, we find out what we have in the heart. I think that is very good thing for us to think about, to find out about it. Kho báu, tiếng Anh không nói cái từ. Yeah. Then Sư-cô explains about the karma. That is a good lesson today that we learned it. I think on the student, they have learned about karma, but what the teacher gave many samples, many pictures that we can learn about it. And I think with the way that Sư-cô explained, that Sư-cô show with about a boys, with the picture on the that we can see it, that we think with, and we understand what Sư-cô explained, we keep it better. Yeah, and then that's something I write out, change the future. What have to learn, we can change the future. What we good thing, we do good thing, we become the good result. And two of things is woman là không có hiểu biết, thì chúng ta sẽ khổ. Rồi Sư-cô có giảng dạy cho con về 4 conditions, the six lục đạo, and then the thập thiện, about what we thập thiện ha, tức là từ ngũ giới xong là thập thiện. Yeah. Chúng con xin thành tâm kính đảnh lễ Sư-cô. Trong 1 tiếng rưỡi đồng hồ qua, Sư-cô đã giảng dạy một bài học rất là quý báu, tức là chúng ta gieo trồng và nuôi dưỡng những hạt giống lành trong tâm thức của chúng ta, để chúng ta, như các em đã ghi trong bảng, là các em muốn trở thành những con người tốt, con người có lợi ích cho xã hội, và những con người Phật tử chân chánh. That's the way that I see it in the film. That's everyone have a dream. The dream is that Bồ Tát đạo. Sư-cô đã nói Bồ Tát đạo là chúng ta sống cho lợi ích cho nhiều người. That we have learned, we can try to good thing for the people, and we could be a Buddha in the future. Dạ, Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Vừa rồi chúng con đã có đôi lời cũng trân trọng cái giờ phút này, và chúng con xin thành tâm đảnh lễ Sư-cô và kính chúc Sư-cô pháp thể kinh an, luôn quan tâm cái tình thương đến chúng con, để cho chúng con được học hỏi nhiều hơn và thực tập trong đời sống hàng ngày. Nam mô A Di Đà.
A Di Đà Phật. Cảm ơn anh teacher đã kết lại hôm nay chúng ta đã học cái gì. So for now, I ask you to put your hands together, and we now visualize again. We are still in front of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and 3 times. And now we have received the Dharma from the Buddha directly into our heart. This causes us joy, and we want to share it with all others. We devote our merits to our parents who has given this life to us, who has taken care of us for years, so that now we can grow up and go our own way. Our way is on the Bodhisattva path. So we would like to devote our merits to the people who are suffering on the pandemic. We wish that the pandemic will stop very soon so that every creature can be free from the suffering. We devote our merits to all people who are suffering under the catastrophe of nature, such as flood, earthquake, fire, heat, storms, which is bringing suffering to everybody. Let us pray so that everybody can gain happiness. Deep in our inside, we feel happiness because we could hear the Buddha Dharma. This happiness we now share with everybody and every creature. They shall be together with us soon get the enlightenment. Nguyện đem công này hướng về
Không tăng
đệ tử và